Good morning, kids. I'm going to show you how to make a good composition. And a composition means your artwork and everything in it and how it all looks together. Some people can make bad compositions and people make good compositions. So our goal is always to make a good composition. So I'm going to teach you some ways that you can make good compositions. The first one is overlapping. Okay, overlap means to put something on top of something else. So if your picture has some overlap, that's good because it helps show depth and distance. Another technique artists use to make a good composition is they use the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds. And what this is, it's a way of dividing your composition up. Okay, so we'll pretend I have a landscape format picture. If I divide it into thirds that way, and I divide it into thirds the other way, I basically have some kind of grid. And wherever these lines cross, and I'll put little dots there so you can see, those are places you'll want to put your subject. Okay, whatever you care about, whatever you want to draw attention to. Instead of placing it exactly right in the middle, artists will place it off to one side or another. And what that does is it helps the viewer see the subject and what's behind it. And the subject, again, it kind of keeps your eye moving. It makes your subject and your background kind of relate better, have a conversation better in your picture. So overlapping, rule of thirds. I like to use this technique where I call it blowing things up. So that means to make your subject so large that you end up cutting off, and that leads to the next answer. So cut things off, blow things up, cut things off. So you don't, let's say you're making a picture of a cat, you don't have to show that whole cat to know it's a cat. So that makes you look like more of a mature artist if you do those things. So I'm going to do a demo here. So I give you 4 suggestions: overlapping, rule of thirds, blowing things up, cutting things off. So I'm going to draw me a little picture and I'm going to use some of those techniques. And that's going to be your assignment today. Is I want to see at least 2. It'd be great if you did all 4. But I want you to use at least 2 of those to make me a sketch on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be big. Showing me that you understand how to make a good composition. Okay. And I'll show you what a bad one looks like too. But a good one, let's say I was going to make a picture of a coffee cup. And the coffee cup was on a plate or on the table, either one. I'm going to make the coffee cup cropped a little bit, so part of the handle has gone away. Notice part of the table or the plate is cropped off too. So I blew it up so large that you can't see the whole thing. So I made my steam kind of come up, get cropped, and come back. So what that does is it has the viewer like moving its eye this way. Okay, and so you're keeping the viewer's eye on the page rather than having the viewer look off the page. So I blew things up, I cut things off. I did use the rule of thirds because I put my cup over to one side rather than in the middle. I do have a little bit of overlapping happening with the cup being in front of the table. Now, if I was to do a bad composition of a coffee mug, I would probably stick it right in the middle of the paper, show it on a plate or a table, show the whole thing. Okay, this is less interesting than this. This is more pleasing to the eye, and this is more stagnant, a more immature composition. So draw me a sketch showing at least 2, but try and do all 4 of a composition so that you understand what makes a good one. Okay, you can take a picture of it, upload it to this assignment, or you can bring it in tomorrow and I will check it off when I see you face to face. Okay, bye kids.